We're cooking food for the omelet time. Professor cooking it up. Professor Bumblefuck retired. That's my new theme song. I composed it moments ago. Now look, I'm getting better at this all the time, right? This is more improvements, okay? We've got both the pots out ready to go. We have utensil ready to go. And I'm going to track down my stabbing fork in a minute. It's MIA currently. We have we got the food ready to go, okay? We got the water bubbleizing already. It's already, it's already been set to bubble temperature. Right, we're cooking 2 dishes this time. We're gonna add some vegetables. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm not a healthy eater, because I very much am. So okay, we got the water bubbleizing, so let's begin. First off, we have great value brand canola oil. Still a great value, still a great brand. Canola oil. So this is, you see how it's bubbleizing pretty viciously over here. We're just going to want to put a little bit of this in there. Okay, it doesn't, whoa, that was a lot. That was way too much. But you'll notice now it's bubbleizing in a very different way. Okay, so the purpose of that is to keep it from boiling over, keep it from making a big mess. So now that it's bubbleizing in the proper way, we can go ahead and consult our noodles. So I know what you're thinking. Professor Bumblefuck, did you do noodles 2 times in a row? That's not a good variety, right? And variety is the spice of life, and he controls spice, controls the universe. But this is different, okay? Last time we had an Asian-inspired, robust, simple, vibrant ramen bowl, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit more Greco-Roman. So notice that I have whole wheat, okay? Whole wheat noodles, they're high in fiber. This is important. If you buy white noodles all the time, if you eat this too much, and here it says dietary fiber is 5 grams per serving, which is pretty good. You're gonna stoop up your pooper, okay? You're gonna stop it right on up there, and it's not gonna be fun. You're not gonna have a good time. And I'm not going to have a good time either, knowing that you did that to yourself. So let's have our fiber, right? So we're gonna take about that much of the noodle, of these whole wheat noodles, and these are very affordable. You can buy a pound box for like $1.25, depending on where you live. So I'm not cooking a whole lot here. That's about 1/3 of the box or so. And then we're just going to want to break it in half. And you see I'm holding it like this. I'm going to bend it down. Hang on. I'm going to bend it down and then just kind of bend it upwards. A lot of people like to do them like this, right, and bend it down. But then the broken noodle flakes go fucking everywhere. So we're going to do it down, so that way they jettison themselves directly into the bubble mix. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm very strong. Quick as you please, and in it goes. Okay. So this is going to be enough noodle for 1, maybe 2 people. So if you need to increase, if you have guests, if you're entertaining guests, then you're going to want to increase the amount proportionally to however many, friends you have. So then, to make sure that they don't clump up together, it's a common misconception that the oil prevents clumping. It does not. It does not do that a little bit. I mean, reasonably it kind of has to, but the oil is to make sure that the pot doesn't boil over, and then kind of stirring and kind of doing this thing, right? I'm going to fluff them. Fluffing them is what prevents clumping. Okay, so that's going to take between 10 and 12 minutes to get to the desired level of firmness. I kind of like my noodles a little bit al dente, which is a fancy word, which means they're a little firmer. They're not as squishy. You understand? You might be seeing a pattern in my food preferences. All right, while that's going on, right? The action is happening there. While that's happening, we're going to take this can of cut green beans from Great Value brand, and we got the one here, it's got the no salt added, right? So that's kind of important. And we're going to be working with that. So let's go ahead and we're going to do two things at once here, complex maneuvers, and we're going to turn on this eye, and we're just going to want to put a big old blob of butter in there. I'm going to blob that butter. Okay, so we need a little butter blob. There we go. A butter blob. That's a tongue twister. I just made that one up. You can have that one for free. Okay, so we're going to take our butter knife and we're just going to cut a blade of butter, about a tablespoon. Right, we're going to take the paper off because you can't eat this part. This is not the good part. And we're going to put the blurb of butter into the saucepan. Okay, and it's going to slide around. That's my favorite part. How it just kind of slides around in there pretty good, and it gets smaller and smaller as she goes. Okay, so we're just going to bloop that around a little bit. And then we're done with the butter knife. So let's go ahead and fluff the noodle. Right? We want to make sure that starch doesn't bind together. Right? There you go. And the fibrosity of it, it's going to make sure you don't bind up together, right? Because that's unpleasant. Now in the back here we have more oils. We have some seasonings, seasonalizers. We forgot one. Plain black pepper, unflavored, Great Value brand. There we go. You guys thought I was joking about Great Value, huh? This is also Great Value brand. No, I'm not joking at all. That's practically the only thing I buy. Because it's affordable and it is a great value, as I've said many times. You'll never change my mind about that. So let's fluff our noodle a little bit just to make sure. You got to do it every once in a little while. Now we're going to take our green bean can and we're going to pop the top of this bad boy right here just like that. And we're going to carefully, because it is sharp, and I don't want you to get cut, we're just going to do it like that. Leave the lid on there though, because now, and this action is going to happen off the screen, but you might hear it. Right, you might hear the little piddle. That's because we're draining all of those juices away, because we've effectively replaced all that juice with butter. With the blurb of butter that we melted, okay? So now we're just going to want to put these in the pot. Right? We're going to want to apply heat. There we go. The heat has been applied. I'm going to toss the can, or if you like, you can recycle it. Recycle that can. I'm going to start seasoning this product. Okay. So black pepper is going in the pan, and you want to kind of it's going to have a kick to it. That's what I'm saying. So you want to put a lot in there. Put more than you think you need. Like significantly more. Next, onion powder. Goes in everything. There's no excuse. Right? And again, more than you think you need. Green beans have a powerful flavor on their own. So we're going to want to not overpower that, but we're going to want to complement it. And for that to happen, we're going to need to put a little bit more than it seems like we should. But we want these flavors to play nice together. And then, okay, and see what I'm doing here? This is a signature move of mine. To get all those seasonings evenly coated, you just put the lid on it and you just kind of shimmy it. Right? You just kind of jiggle it. And once the jiggle shimmy has, done, look. Right? Nice even coating of those seasonings. We're going to back the heat off from 5 to 3 on the green beans, on our vegetable dish. The vegetable is effectively done now. Okay, it just needs to heat up. Nothing major. So I'm going to put my black pepper away. So thank you, black pepper. Buy it in bulk because it is quite expensive. As spices go, it's an expensive one. And while that's going, I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put my noodles back into the cabinet because I like to tidy as I cook. So that way when I'm done, there's not a big mess for my family to clean up. No, I do that. But still, I don't like to do that. I'm not a clean maker. I'm not a man who enjoys the, you know, those duties, those domestic duties. But they have to be done, so you might as well do them while you're down home, delicious, rich, simple, elegant, sort of, it's going to be the most amazing, fantastic, you know, lovely end result. And you want your house to match that, right? You want your surfaces to be just as clean as your palate is before you take that first sumptuous bite. And you want it to, that quality to stay high, right, and consistent as, you know, all things in your life align together, and that everything goes according to what you like to do. And then that's, you know, your life becomes better as a result, and it becomes a, you know, something that you can enjoy for yourself, with yourself, or any loved ones you may or may not have. At this time, okay, we kind of just want to gauge the noodle, right? So it's a little jiggly, it's a little floppy. If you really want the test, though, you get a single, whoop. Let's try that again. You get a single noodle here. Alright, good. And so I'm going to try and show you what we want to do here. Normally I would do this over the pot, but you're going to want to, hang on, can I get it to where you can see it? Here we go. Now we have the single noodle, you know, on its own, and you're just going to want to pinch it until it pinches all the way through. And if you can feel in the center that it's not, where'd it go? It fell. I have two of them on the floor now, see? And so this is messing up my cleanliness side of things. There we go. I've got them now. Into the trash they go. But if you don't encounter resistance in the center, and it breaks and it kind of mushes cleanly, then you know it's done. Okay, and then you can safely strain. So here we go. Let's get a look at this jazz. All right. So we have our setup cooking away. We got our spice center set up over there. And then we're just going to come and we're going to take a look at, there you go, we have our strainer. You can see I did dishes earlier, so again, cleanliness. Yeah, so we're looking pretty good. This is all coming together, right? Okay, so I'm going to strain it off camera. I'm sorry that you have to miss some of the action, but, ow, that's warm. But, you know, I don't have camera helpers, so it's not too hot to burn, I don't think. But I'm just going to want to dump that into the strainer. Now I'm going to return this over here. I'm going to put it on the cooler eye, and I'm going to try to rearrange some of this stuff so that way I don't melt my bottles. Because then what I'm going to want to do, and this is the controversial part, a lot of people just leave the noodles right there in the strainer. I do not. I put them back in the pan, or the pot, right? I put them back in the pot. The reason for this is twofold. One, it's going to stay warmer in there longer than it will in a receptacle that has so many, you know, so many cooling ports. Look at all the cooling ports that are, it's where the heat goes through there and it goes away. And we want to kind of keep that, because your guests, and your loved ones are going to want seconds and thirds. I can promise you that. It's going to be a big hit, okay? So you want to keep that warm. Also, and I'm just going to move, I normally wouldn't move it back to the heat surface, but I want you to see the magic as it unfolds. Then it provides us with a receptacle for our olive oil. So we're just going to want to drizzle that. Oh, you can hear it. You can hear the sizzle. Just drizzle that. Okay, that's what's going to enable our spices to latch onto the noodle. Right? There we go. Let's try to cool that down. I'm not trying to fry my noodles here. I mean, one day we might do that. That might be episode of a later episode. Okay. Now we're going to want to season this, and let's do that one more time. Can't hurt. Let's try to cool this joker on down, shall we? Let's cool that bad boy. So now we're going to onion powder. Okay, because again, onion powder on everything. I don't care if you think you don't like onions, you are in fact wrong about that. Onion powder is in everything. A little garlic powder, plain garlic powder, unflavored. We're gonna do some Mrs. Dash, right? We're gonna flavor this with my lover woman, and it'll be lover woman flavored. And I know I'm gonna appreciate that. Maybe you will too. Maybe that'll be part of your thing. Now this is a new aromatic, okay? So we did the parsley, we did the oregano, now we're doing Italian seasoning, which I believe it's more marjoram, oregano, thyme, rosemary, savory, that's new to me, basil and sage, okay? So it's a combination of that. And this is the kind of stuff you would put in like a red spaghetti sauce to get that flavor. To get the flavor of Italy and Sicily and Naples and that whole region, Rome, yeah. And then we're gonna just kind of spread the love and get those seasonings coated in evenly on the noodle. So this is a no sauce noodle recipe. I probably should have said that earlier. Now we salt, because there's been no salt at any point, at any stage so far. There's been no salt added whatsoever. Not to the green beans, not to the noodle. So we'll put that in there. Okay. Alright. So now things are starting to smell really good. It's starting to smell like you know, like a restaurant of sorts. Or like a restaurant where, alright, let's go, for just momentarily close your eyes while I paint this scape for you, this mindscape. You walk through the double doors of an Italian restaurant owned by people with very Italian names, you know, Giovanni Corleone and you know, the family, right? And everybody knows them, and there are some suspicions surrounding their business dealings, but what can you do? Certainly the police can't do anything, or else they would have already, and the mayor is getting running for re-election next year, and so that they have a lot of pull, and there's like a whole political intrigue backstory, and that savory scent, that hearty, you know, that intrigue hits your the olfactory senses the moment you walk through these glass double doors, right? It's very traditional. The restaurant may well be called The Family, or Keep It in the Family, or All in the Family, or Full House, something like that. It's got a very family-oriented name to it. Okay, and then you're seated by, you know, somebody who, a cast member of the Jersey Shore seats you, and you can smell these flavors. You can, I mean, no, that's taste. You can smell the sense of, you know, old recipes, long time ago, and you as you open the menu, I'm going to speed this up, as you open the menu, you see a sort of pasta dish that looks and sounds and smells. Can you see the flavor flakes, the seasoning? It sounds a lot like what we've made here. Okay, it's a sauceless. It's sauceless, right? And this intrigues you. This, you know, it's a cultural experience you're being exposed to something flavorful with, just a hint of danger attached to it, because you're not entirely sure. You've heard the stories, though. You've heard the stories. So, and I'm going to keep this out because, again, salt's one of those things that you're going to want to add that according to your own personal specifications. So I put a little bit on the noodles. I'm going to put a little bit on the green beans, just according to my specification, which is, something. A specification is a sacred information that a person can only know about themselves, and so that's going to be, your sort of precious, private, secret preference. Great. So then you smell it and you see it on the menu and you think, wow, that sounds really good. Because it's a wheat noodle, right? It's a whole wheat noodle, and you're thinking, wow, the fiber benefits of the wheat noodles speak volumes for themselves. That's a very smart choice. I'm starting to like this crime family more than I thought I would, And then it says it's got the seasonings, the 5-6 flavor, however many I used. Seasonings, no sauce, just a little olive oil, right? A little olive oil to bind it all together, and then the secret power ingredient is going to be your grated Parmesan cheese, which is a great value. Look at the size of this motherfucker. So now we're going to just, and again, you could save this to when you plate it, okay? I mean, we're going to use bowls, but you could save this stage to when you plate it. Not everybody's going to want the Parmesan in there, and again, that's a specification kind of thing. But since I know I like it, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's in there. Okay, not a whole lot, just enough to get that gritty texture and that mildly cheesy flavor. Back in the fridge it goes, into the refrigeration unit. Okay. So at this time, we're going to check on our green beans that have been simmering along nicely at power level 3. I'm going to go ahead and salt these too. I like to salt towards the end of the meal, because if you salt it at the beginning, you'll add tremendous amounts of sodium, but the salt flavor, you're going to lose some of that in the, to the heat. So let's find my fork. I don't think I actually need my stabbing fork, so I'm gonna get my good one. And I'm just gonna go ahead, and this will be the fork that I eat with. Make things efficient and easier to clean later on. Presto changeo. I think we're done. I think we have successfully made the dish. Now let's go ahead and plate this bad boy. And I said before, we're gonna bowl it. We're gonna put it in the bowl. Into the bowl. I'm sorry, that was incredibly racist. Won't do that one again. Lesson learned. Lesson learned immediately. That's instant karma for you right there. I may have just alienated my viewership. Okay, so the noodle goes in the bowl. Harmful Italian stereotypes notwithstanding. And here we go. See? Now it looks similar to the ramen we made, except there's no sauce, there's no broth. Okay, and the flavor is going to be, simultaneously rich and decadent and savory. It's got a lot of hearty meat body to it. Not meaty body, no meat. There's no meat in this dish. And we haven't gotten to the meat yet, but we will. Yes. And then it's going to be well complemented by this sort of spicy girl right here, this sort of spicy green gal. And yeah, it's gonna really alter the dynamic of the way that you view and experience life from this moment onward. It's very quick, easy to make, and I really think you'll love it. And thank you all. I appreciate the time and dedication you spend to be here with me as I am also here with you, because food is about gratitude and togetherness, and it makes our hearts feel real good. So dig in. I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna dive in. I'm not gonna have you want to watch that part because I'm prone to making a mess about this. So I'm gonna dive in and shred this food apart in my tum tum, and we'll see you next time. And who knows? Who knows what we'll be making at that point in time? I have not decided yet, so it's an enticing mystery. So go ahead and click subscribe, like and subscribe, and look at the links in the description, and leave a comment and tell me what dishes you might want to see me make out of Great Value brand ingredients. And I do not have an endorsement with. Please, Great Value brand, feel free to endorse. My kitchen creations. As we progress through our journey, discovering our specifications together today. Okay. Peace. Goodbye. Peace.